dog sight. Tell me been in that living room all white. I'm up all night, season ends while niggas sleeping. Lost so many guys, guess why I'm breathing. We keep it strong as the name live on, like if they was never gone. Mind blown, and neither my ever seen.
So the baby continues to lose sponsorships and get dropped from festivals and concerts because of his comments that he made regarding, his, regarding gay people. And like I said, they were reckless comments, wasn't right, and I'm not one of these old Cowtown celebrities that's gonna try to say the right thing because I'm being paid off or I want to be accepted. I don't give a shit about none of that. I do believe, gay people should be, afforded their rights. They should be, treated right and be treated consistently on the, you're gonna treat treat somebody one way, afford them the same thing. What happens in a person's bedroom don't have shit to do with me. But at the same time, you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with the lifestyle, like, all that stuff. I don't like it. I don't like to see it. I don't like to see it at all. But it's probably shit that they don't like to see. They don't want to see two heterosexual people together. So, I afford them that. But, I was all behind the baby having this free speech. It's just funny that all of a sudden, but not funny. It's the reality, and it's what people have been pointing out for the longest. You've been able to say anything, in hip-hop for the longest. It's always been a beacon of having free speech and saying what's on your mind no matter what. But that's all gone now. That's all gone. You can't say nothing. You can talk about shooting somebody. You can talk about, whatever. Call a woman a bitch. But then all of a sudden, just like you have with YG in his video, when he says something about, how to get into an Asian, try to rob an Asian home or whatever. I mean, that's just it. That's the reality. That's what it is. Hip hop's always been based off reality. So if they're specifically targeting those houses and different things like that, I mean, what's changed? It's always been, they've always talked about what's real and their lifestyle and the shit, the different methods that they use. And now you can't say that. Now you can't go on stage and say nothing about gay folks. But you can say everything else. You can talk about shooting a nigga all day. You can call a woman a bitch all day. Got Cardi B. Cardi B can sit up there and talk about drugging niggas and taking their money. And that's acceptable. And you plaster her everywhere and have her as a hero. And that's no knock toward Cardi B. Cardi B's cool. I love her personality. But you didn't get on her for doing none of that. The industry is who I'm speaking to, because it's all one big thing. I talked about on the last video of how different sponsorships and how they can be affected, by the different decisions that we make, and it's just deeper. It's deeper than the the artist and the sponsor or whoever it may be, and that whole relationship. It's deeper than that. It deals with the consumer and how the consumer affects it. But, that's just one side of it. When you're dealing with the industry, the entertainment industry and everything, the whole thing is an entire psyop. So it's not about money to them. It's about shaping minds. It's about shaping minds. And, even if they weren't affected by the pockets, they're still going to get on code. actors, actresses, everything. Now they're gonna get pushback on certain things from some people won't agree with them and the decisions that they make, but a lot of times those are just a few people who, you know, they got a problem with it. They may not use the product and maybe, you know, be in a bad light to them, but you know, you still may have a large influx of people who will support what's going on. And a lot of that's what you see. A lot of people have a problem with this, you know, situation with the baby. You know, even gay people do. There's a lot of gay people that have a problem with this situation. Like, it's, you know, it's overkill. They recognize that what he said was, you know, irresponsible, but, you know, him getting dropped in just all these different companies, they're all just in unison. They all work together. So each one is going to follow one. And that's how they shut you out. That's how they blackball you in the industry. The way you can't eat. But the main problem is, see, what you could do is start hitting these different companies that start, you know, exercising, blackballing people and stuff like that. You can start hitting these companies in the pockets. But the problem is that a lot of these companies are in bed with your U.S. government. And so they're funneling a lot of this money to these companies. They're not taking a loss because they're getting a lot of the money that they're getting it from contracts using your tax dollars. Any money that the U.S. government is getting is from you. They don't make money. They take money from you. It's through your taxes. Take the juvenile vax that thing up situation. Take that whole video. Y'all know where that came from, right? That was an initiative from the Biden administration. You can look it up yourself. The Biden administration wanted to go on an initiative. They wanted to find different ways to push the jab to people in the black community. So they started, you know, taking tax dollars and putting it into promotion with different things like the dating service. They wanted to do it with multiple dating services. You can look it up yourself. And the one that the juveniles vaxxed that thing up, the black BLK, whatever, BLK dating app, they were one of them. They're using government contracts. They're using your money to fuel their strength so they can strong arm people. And so even if you sit up there and decide, oh, I'm not going to support, you know, I'm not going to support Viacom, or I'm just naming different companies, you know, them big hitters. I'm not going to support Atlantic and Universal and different things like that. A lot of times they have other acts that can get them money. And then on top of that, like I said, they can supplement that with the money that they're getting from your government. Just think of like what happened with Jeff Bezos from Amazon. And he sat up there and he got that huge $10 billion contract from the U.S. government. Or he's able to get that basically a welfare. $10 million because he lost out on the contract to Elon Musk. So the fucking Congress approved of giving him $10 billion for his space program. When you have people out right here, you know what I'm saying, in your country that are starving or going through it, and you're taking their money, you taking the people's money and giving it to billionaires. Welfare. Look that up yourself. Y'all need to start focusing on what's going on, and y'all need to do something. All these people talking about I pay taxes and different things. Like, I don't know anybody who pays tax. When you say you pay tax, that means you do it voluntarily. No, you're getting taxes stolen from you. and having it taken from you at the threat of a gun. Because that's what everything, things that are laws that come into law, that's what it ultimately comes to. Being imprisoned, and if you don't accept the imprisonment, well, shit, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot by the police force. So think about that. Y'all need to start dealing with your government. A lot of these companies, these music companies, are in bed with the U.S. government, the CIA, all type of different things. You got to start looking at them and start tracing their tracks and start following the money of where these guys are. They have agendas. They have an agenda. You can sit up there and promote killing all damn day, but you say anything about a gay person and you shut down. And you can't say it's because, there's been backlash and different things like that. Like I said, there's a lot of gay people that have a problem with what's going on, what they're doing to the baby. And think about this. Think of all the fucking outcries and people who have been trying to stop the violence, and they've had a problem with what's been going on with hip hop. Yeah, of course, you're always going to have a consumer. There's always going to be a consumer. Just like even with what the baby said, there will still be consumers who will listen to his music. But y'all not shutting down the people when they're sitting up there saying a lot of the hip hop is what's contributing to the deaths that's going on to the community. No, y'all latch upon that because y'all see a business opportunity. And to sit there and promote more and more death. And they can say the craziest things and taunt people and talk about people's dead homies. And y'all putting money behind that. Y'all passing them on through the algorithms. Y'all not shutting down their videos and shit like you did YG. Talking about Asian hate. No, there wasn't no Asian hate. That wasn't even anything that was directly because they were Asian. If anything, it's noticing a certain weakness in where you can get over. And I'm talking about the YG situation. It's noticing a certain weakness and just pinpointing that and taking advantage of it. And if it just happens to be because they were Asian or something, that's what it is. They need to get, that means Asians need to get guns. They need to arm up. And shouldn't be none of them sitting there promoting this, fucking taking guns and shit like that. That Biden is promoting. And, not just them, both sides. Republicans and Democrats. All these corporate oligarchs. Because that's how they, that's how they get you. And that's how they can keep stealing your money and funneling it to all these different organizations and funneling it to, people who are against you and trying to take away your rights. And while they contradict themselves. Think about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to get up with y'all.